Is it possible that the thing that most divides our loyalties and passions is what can inspire us all to work together? For centuries, sports has played a major role in defining the civic identity of America. Today, they hold the power and the ability to transform lives.
We're not looking for big league players, we're looking for big league people.
Ask the city of Los Angeles, who invested their profits from the 1984 Olympic Games in youth sports programs in the inner cities. Two sisters from Compton picked up a tennis racket. The rest is history. Sports allow an inspirational moment.
Oh wow, what a moment.
To ignite a battle to find a cure.
We have raised a little over $3 million.
They provide life lessons and hope, and the benefits of working together for the greater good. Most of all, sports are one of the few remaining methods we have to reach at-risk youth for positive social change. That is the power of sports.
I believe the power of sports transforms lives, and I'm grateful beyond words to the investment that you all have made to our Spartans.
This field is for you. Everybody here today is here for you.
Field number 22 is now complete here in a stifling Oklahoma City, and Fields and Futures is now more than halfway to their goal of rebuilding 42 athletic fields in Oklahoma's largest school district, all in an effort to grow student participation in sports and in turn give them better long-term outcomes in life. Welcome to the Power of Sports, presented by Group 1001. I'm your host, Rick Horrow. Today we're in OKC at the ribbon cutting of Southeast High School to give you an in-person update on the project we tell you about every month on Power of Sports. And while we're once again filming the show right here in Oklahoma City, our city of focus on Power of Sports is on a city 500 miles south of here, San Antonio, Texas. Despite being one of the smaller communities in the country with a professional franchise, sports is a key fabric across the Alamo City. In addition to the Spurs, other pro teams support a variety of community causes, some of which we'll feature on this month's show. We'll also highlight an amazing after-school program that ignites a love of sports in elementary schools across San Antonio. As we do every month on Power Sports, let's kick off the show with a trip around the city to show you what local teams are supporting in San Antonio with a segment we call City Pulse. The Spurs Youth Basketball League was founded by legendary head coach Greg Popovich in 1989 when he was just in his second year as a Spurs assistant. Since that time, it served more than 350,000 children and coaches across San Antonio.
He basically just wanted to find an opportunity for kids to find positive experiences and not get into trouble, teaching them respect for themselves and for other people, giving them a place to obviously play basketball, but also a place to learn to make positive choices.
There you go, nice.
70% of Spurs youth basketball sites serve families that are classified as low income.
That was one of the goals in the inception of the program, was to provide these experiences to the kids that needed it the most, to let them know that there are people out there who care. The players are very active in it as well. They come out and teach basketball clinics with our kids 3 times during the season. For an hour, they just do skills and drills. It's exciting to see the kids, the look on their face, to get that one-on-one experience. The kids don't want to leave, the players don't want to leave, nobody wants to leave.
San Antonio FC is in its 3rd season competing in the United Soccer League and has joined dozens of other soccer clubs in creating a youth academy under their umbrella.
What we have is a fully funded program, 80 full-time players that represent the best emerging talents ages 12 through 16 in the San Antonio market, that we provide the best training and competition outlet with week in and week out training and playing games at the highest level. Part of our responsibility is making sure not just that we're developing elite soccer players, but elite people. The 3 main components outside of the sporting realm for us are personal character, the academic performance, making sure that that stays at a high level, and then involvement with the community, either through our programs or independently. Those three things are important, not just in terms of putting them in the best position to be successful in what they aspire to be, which is a soccer player at the college, national team, or pro level, but just to be good people in life and well-rounded.
That's your City Pulse for San Antonio. When we come back, we'll sit down with the president and CEO of Minor League Baseball, Pat O'Connor. Professional baseball and San Antonio have a very long history together. The city was one of the charter members of the Texas League all the way back in 1888. That would be when Grover Cleveland, the president, not the baseball player, was in the White House. San Antonio's held ties to 9 different major league franchises and has had hundreds of future major league stars entertain its fans over the last 130 years of baseball. Nationwide, Pat O'Connor is currently serving his 3rd term as president and CEO of minor league baseball. O'Connor's introduced diversity initiatives across the league, winning the Bud Selig Mentoring Award in 2010 for the program. He's not only led minor league baseball to unprecedented levels of growth, but also has enhanced the branding of the league as the country's best option for affordable family entertainment.
This is a special treat because we're back in September 5th of 1901, and it is the Leland Hotel in Chicago. We have 2 dueling associations, and out of that came the National Association of Professional Baseball Leagues, and the guy that presided over the meeting, not true, but pretty close to it, the commissioner, president, poobah of minor league baseball, Pat O'Connor. It is a pleasure. Thank you.
Rick, it's always good to be with you.
Trace that history of how minor league baseball came to be.
Well, minor league baseball came to be basically because, as you said, there was a bit of a war over players and territories and all of the business of baseball issues, and the major leagues started picking on some of the minor leagues, and they just decided we'll get together, and if they're going to pick on us, they're going to pick on all of us.
Yeah.
And in 1901 signed the agreement, 1902 the first season, to form the National Association of Professional Baseball Leagues. It has morphed and evolved, it's expanded, it's contracted, it's reacted to the social times. It was in its heyday, and then World War II knocked it down, as it did a lot of things in this country from a commerce standpoint. At its peak, 438 clubs. Today we operate off of a domestic market that's 160 teams. It's a game that has changed cyclically several times. And today the simplest way to maybe describe what minor league baseball is and isn't, it's an entertainment venue that is the home for Major League Baseball minor league players. We're out of the player business in every respect. Major league clubs own the contracts, they assign their players to us. So we're responsible for the venue and making sure that these young men get their at-bats and get to play and develop.
You've presided over that for a long time now. As it relates to community input and impact, substantial community involvement, long history, long branding, giving back to the community. Talk about that.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, what we are grassroots baseball. Yeah. And we are in the community. We're vested and invested in the community. We are everything from Little League to every charity listed to the Chamber of Commerce. We're there 365 days a year. We are that city's team. And draped over your knee is a perfect example. That's the El Paso Chihuahuas, and the Chihuahuas are El Paso's team. It just so happens that every player that plays there is from San Diego's system. Yeah. People don't know that. They don't care about that. These are these local communities' teams. In excess of $40 million of goods and services and cash every year goes into the communities from our clubs. We provide jobs, we provide entertainment, but more than anything, we provide affordable family entertainment for communities all across this country. Without getting political, it's still tough out there for a family. And what we provide is an outlet, a place where they can go and exhale. You know, one of the greatest examples that I used that proved to me we were on the right track, 2008 and 2009, companies too big to fail were failing. You know, Shearson, Lehman Brothers, they go out of business. You know, we don't lose but 5% of our business because our clubs reach out and felt America at its heartland suffering. Yeah. We got that 5% back and then some in 2 years. But when you go to our games and you walk through the stands and you see grandma and grandpa, mom and dad and kids, sometimes the same family unit in the same stretch of bleachers, That, you can't tell me that's not good for America and you're not invested and connected to your community.
Well, and even different and better than that, or at least expanded from that, the charitable component, the philanthropic component, you're really are the poster child for charity in sports.
We really are, from the standpoint that we penetrate virtually every aspect, every level, from preschool to senior citizen homes, and every stop in between. Yeah. You know, whether it is philanthropic giving, whether it is mentoring, whether it's a reading program, whether it's a food bank, you know, you go across, when you have 160 clubs and they draw 42 million people across this country, you're connected and your causes are connected. We go everything at the national level, from ALS down to Bear Find, which is an organization that is organic, grown from a former minor league player that finds missing children. You know, in minor league baseball, we found 348 missing children last year. There's value there. Is it a dollars and cents equation? Maybe not. But there's a lot more that goes beyond that to the fabric of this country. Our primary goal is to develop players and then entertain America. Yeah. And we're doing both at a very good pace right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Pat O'Connor. Thank you very much, man.
Thanks, Rick.
With each city we visit on Power of Sports, we highlight a program or organization that uses sports as a platform to advance their efforts. Across all the cities we visit on Power of Sports, there may be no organization that had a more well-rounded approach to using sports for community improvement than San Antonio Sports. The nonprofit helps bring premier events to the city, but also runs multiple programs that transform the lives of youth, from improving health and wellness to providing access to sport opportunities to those who otherwise wouldn't have it. Today we'll tell you about one of those programs and hear directly from those whose lives are impacted by it.
I Play After School is really our signature program. We're very, very proud of it. We offer the program in 48 elementary schools in the San Antonio and Harlandale school districts. These are 2 inner city school districts, so these are kids who, for the most part, their families would not be able to afford organized sport. We know the power of sport. We know how sport can transform a child's life, transform their health and fitness, their attitudes about school. On a day-to-day basis, an hour a day, they are working on 1 of 5 sports.
First, we start with soccer, then track, then volleyball, then basketball, and then tennis.
5 sports in 5-week units, and at the end of every unit, we have a system-wide tournament.
We won 2 games and we lost 1, but we just went out there to have fun.
And in 5 weeks' time, they've really made great strides in the sport and probably ignited a passion that we hope they'll stick with through middle school and high school and even beyond.
Our coach, Miss Martinez, she teaches us a lot of sports, and whenever we fail trying to do something, she always supports us.
I have so many kids that have come back to see me that have done sports in high school, that have done amazing things in college, but I just like the idea that I've made an impact on those children. If we get them involved at a young age, like we do now here in elementary, that carries on with them and it makes them better people. It makes them think before they do something they shouldn't be doing, and it gets them involved not only at school, but in the community and as they go on, hopefully, to college.
If we want to be there for iPlay, we have to be there for the whole day for our school.
Dad, throw in the ball. You have to throw in the ball.
We take the curriculum very seriously. There is a point A to a point Z in that 5-week program. We sneak in character education and nutrition education. So while the kids are having a great time, they're also learning important life lessons to keep them healthy and to have them grow as strong young people.
I love the kids. I do it for the kids.
It makes us more than a team. It makes us like a family.
When we come back on Power of Sports, presented by Group 1001, we'll give you another look at the organization that's being celebrated behind me, Fields and Futures.
As a Group 1001, we love the story of
amateur sports and what it means in each of our lives. The power of amateur sports to ignite our passions. The power of amateur sports to empower us to believe. That would be my message to each of the students. Get in the game and to ignite your passion for sports. What sports can teach you is unlike no other.
We're back at Southeast High School in Oklahoma City, celebrating the 22nd field built by Fields and Futures since 2012.
Shoes, uniforms, coaches, all are vital for any athlete to succeed. So when a group of Fields and Futures supporters attended a high school basketball game a few years ago and saw the home team's cheerleaders didn't have enough uniforms, they asked the obvious question, why? That conversation triggered a movement to bring cheer into the mainstream for Oklahoma City Public Schools and give hundreds of young athletes the opportunity to thrive and grow in a sport they love.
It just felt like hard. When we don't have like the rides to the games, or we couldn't get enough money to buy uniforms, it just felt like the school district didn't really support us as cheerleaders.
So we were at the game. A group of us moms that were there that day noticed mismatched t-shirts, mismatched shorts. They just didn't look like the cheerleaders that were on the opposing team.
We put in hard work, money, time, and pain and sweat. It's just a lot to it.
We need for these girls to not feel different. They need to feel just like the kids that are growing up in suburban communities. We formulated a plan and talked to the Oklahoma City school system and showed them what it would look like if cheerleading was considered a sport. They were on board 100%. We started working on uniforms. We started working on POMs, on transportation. We wanted to give these kids an opportunity to come and have a day of cheer camp just like every other cheerleader would normally get.
It brings more leadership to you as a person. I just like knowing that I can help like somebody younger than me, like put them on the right path to like do what they love to do and just help them.
You look the part and you feel like the part, and it gives you the confidence to participate in the part. A uniform for a sport makes you feel like you belong. You belong to the community, you belong to the school, and you belong to a group of people that are all working towards the same goal. All the communities are rallying around Fields and Futures. When I see what has been done for these kids, it is so inspiring. It gives me chills, it makes me cry.
I just love it. I don't even know what to say. I just love cheering.
When we come back on The Power of Sports presented by Group 1001, we'll give you a highlight of the best stories involving sports and philanthropy through the lens of social media. It's a segment we call Social Spotlight.
This is big league. This is the same caliber of field that we will get a chance to go out there and participate and play on. And we wanted to give that back as a gift to the kids. If you really get excited about the field you're playing on, you get excited about the team you're playing on, you get excited about your teammates, you start to do really good things all the way around.
Cal Ripken Jr. was among the attendees at the ribbon cutting here in Oklahoma City. And there's no question the Ironman's efforts on and off the field would have been a hot topic of conversation on social media if it had existed when he was patrolling the infield for the Orioles. Every month on Power of Sports, we scan all of the social media channels for the inspirational and innovative ways that Power of Sports has on people's lives. It's called our Social Spotlight, and Dwayne Taylor has more.
Thanks, Rick. The Oakland A's recently hosted a group of kids from the Make-A-Wish Foundation, getting a chance to hang out with their honored guests during pregame. After being told he was his favorite player, outfielder Chris Davis had 10-year-old Anthony Slocum sign his jersey for good luck. That night, with Slocum's penmanship prominently showing on Davis's sleeve, he launched his longest home run of the season, a 438-foot blast, while saying that he was thinking about the young cancer survivor on every step all the way around the bases. Every year, we like to highlight the watch list for the Werfel Trophy, which is college football's premier award for community service. This season, Notre Dame led the way as the only team with 3 players in the preseason list. Arkansas State, UMass, UTSA, and Western Michigan all had 2 players nominated for the prestigious award. Out of 106 players on the list, only 1 is an underclassman. Colorado State sophomore fullback Adam Prentice, The civil engineering major is involved in a half-dozen community groups, including an on-campus mentoring program that aims to help young student athletes to balance time and academics with sports. Not bad for only a sophomore. For the first time in event history, the Women's Baseball World Cup took place in the United States, and Major League Baseball put its full support behind the USA Women's National Team. Promoting the event both in stadiums across the country and on social media for the first time, MLB Executive Vice President Tony Regan said it was a part of the league's mission to get more people involved in the sport at every level. The United States team won the first 2 World Cup events in 2004 and 2006 before Japan captured the next 5 titles. Women on the U.S. roster this season range from ages 17 to 44. The stars were out, as usual, in Los Angeles, as Dodger ace Clayton Kershaw hosted his 6th annual Ping Pong for a Purpose event at Dodger Stadium. Matthew McConaughey, Ashton Kutcher, and Mila Kunis were among the celebrity participants who helped raise money for Kershaw's challenge, which assists at-risk kids in Los Angeles, Dallas, Zambia, and the Dominican Republic. Kershaw himself fell in the semifinals of the tournament, but his charity still came out on top, raising $126,000 to fight child trafficking and additional funds to build a new playground at the LA-based Dream Center for the Homeless. That's it for Social Spotlight. Let's throw it back to Rick in OKC.
That wraps up our show from Oklahoma City. Special thanks to the attendees here in Oklahoma City, as well as our guests in San Antonio. We'll see you next time on The Power of Sports, presented by Group 1001.